Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather, and I wanted to give a little bit of a comparison today on the difference between natural Chromexcel, which is the boot on the left here, and natural shell Cordovan, which is the boot on the right. I also have some natural Chromexcel wallets and natural shell Cordovan wallets that we can compare. But before we get to that, let's take a preview of some of the stuff that's in the video today. I have a large batch of one-shot card cases that are going out today. I have two key cases, one in Garnet shell Cordovan and one in ultraviolet shell Cordovan. Two key fobs, one in black reverse shell Cordovan and one in ultraviolet shell Cordovan. There's two watch straps. One is an Apple watch strap in natural shell Cordovan. The other is a Color 8 shell Cordovan strap. There are a couple of Chicago combs going out today. One's a black metal comb with a black reverse shell Cordovan sheath, and the other is a carbon fiber comb with an English tan Dublin sheath. There are two Bugs Moran going out today. One is marbled Color 8 shell Cordovan. The other is color number 8 Chromexcel. There are three Johnny the Foxes: natural Chromexcel with a mock interior, natural Chromexcel with a black interior, and natural shell Cordovan. There's a Tony the Ant in natural Chromexcel. There's four Fat Herbies here, one in ultraviolet shell Cordovan, whiskey shell Cordovan, Color 8 all reverse, and cobalt blue Dublin. And the other Fat Herbie all on its own here is the natural shell Cordovan. And let's start off by looking at that natural shell Cordovan Fat Herbie. These are now back in stock. This is our most popular shell Cordovan color on all of the wallets, but it's actually the color that we started making on the Fat Herbie first, about 10 years ago when we first started making wallets. This Fat Herbie in natural shell is sort of what put us on the map. And a lot of the times I get questions of what's the difference between the shell Cordovan leather and the Chromexcel leather. So just visually, the two colors are quite different, but there's a lot more to it. And I have a pair of boots here that we can take a look at to see some of the performance differences, but let's start off with the obvious here. Obviously, the color is quite different. So just because it's natural does not mean it's going to match color. All that means is we've not added any dyes to the leather at all. So you can see on the Chromexcel, it's a little bit more of like an earth tone, sort of ivory brown, little bits of lighter undertones on it. And that's because this is hot stuffed with a blend of waxes, greases, and oils. And that's the natural color of the leather that you're seeing here. On the other hand, the shell Cordovan has a completely different stuffing blend. It also has waxes, greases, and oils, but they're just a completely different blend of waxes, greases, and oils. So you get a little bit more of this lighter orange tan shade. It has a little bit more liveliness to it in the shell Cordovan, I noticed, as opposed to the Chromexcel. So those are the visual differences on color, but there's also a very interesting visual difference on the texture. So look very closely at what we would consider this, if it had grain on it, the grain character of the shell. And there is no grain on it, so it's a little bit of a misnomer. But if you look carefully, there is very smooth texture to this. It also has a very bright mirror-like sort of shine to it. And what's happening here is because there is no grain, you're not seeing any of those fine little hair holes. So it's super smooth, bright and shiny, has really great feel. The Chromexcel is also smooth, bright and shiny, has a great feel as well. But if you look very closely, very, very closely on the Chromexcel, you can see that the grain is there. It's just been polished down. So it's pretty hard to see, but it has a little bit more texture on this side when you compare it to the shell Cordovan, which is as smooth as it gets. See there? There's no grain character at all. That's because there is no grain. It's a unique piece of leather here, the shell Cordovan membrane. Now let's talk about the differences on something like boots. So I have a couple boots here. The one on the right, this is a natural shell Cordovan Viberg boot. And the one on the left, this is a natural Chromexcel diesel boot. And what people look for on boots is something called the break. And the break is the section here where your toe flexes and the leather sort of creases in on itself. And you can see it a little bit more apparently on the Chromexcel. So you might ask, why is that? Well, what's happening at a small scale here is there's a grain layer on the surface of the Chromexcel where the shell Cordovan is only one thick membrane of shell Cordovan. The grain layer on the Chromexcel, when it flexes and creases, especially when it folds back in on itself, like on the toe. So when your toe flexes forward like this, and the leather starts to bend back in on itself, This part here is what we call the break, and what's happening is the grain layer is slowly delaminating from the fiber structure of the leather. And you're starting to see these little bits of pebbling and creases. And the biggest difference here is if we compare that to the shell Cordovan and flex the toe here, the shell Cordovan will never crease. So you get this character of the boot or a shoe forever because there is no layer of grain to delaminate from the structure of this leather. So that's perhaps the biggest difference that most people look for on a pair of footwear, but we also have the wallets made out of both leathers. So let's take a look at some of the Johnny the Foxes in the natural shell Cordovan and the Chromexcel leather. We'll start off with the natural shell here first. Again, we have that sort of orangey tan. It's a little bit more life to it than what I would assume most people would think of as natural. It's almost like a light orange tan. We still have that same idea here where the leather is never going to crease. A lot of people really find that fascinating. I do as well. So you get the same sort of look for the longevity of the wallet, which these are all guaranteed forever. So this will maintain its smooth appearance as long as you have it. The other thing that's really interesting about the natural shell Cordovan on a wallet is because you wear it in your pocket, the wallet actually gets polished up all day while you're wearing it. So this natural shell Cordovan develops a lot darker in color, a little bit more golden brown, and we also start to see layers of luster develop. And let's take a look at two natural Chromexcel Johnny the Foxes here. And these are both versions that I currently have. You can see on the outside, they both look the same, and that's because they are the same in the outside. The big difference is the horsehide interiors. We have a black horsehide on the left and a mock horsehide on the right. Both of these are actually on sale right now. So if you want to get your hands on some Chromexcel, this is a good way to do it. But take a look again at the grain character in the natural Chromexcel. It's very polished, flat and smooth. And a lot of people, when they think about Chromexcel, is they'll think about something called the pull-up. So when you flex this leather, you can see it quite easily on the spine of this one, where the leather gets pinched and sort of like pulled up from underneath. That's what we call the pull-up. And a lot of people think of this leather as a pull-up leather. In fact, it's got its own sort of designation in the leather world as a pull-up. So Chromexcel, very bright as well, but not as mirror-like of a finish as in the shell Cordovan. You can see it has like a nice subtle sheen to it, but it's not like a mirror like the shell Cordovan. And I think the bigger thing about the Chromexcel is it has just such a rich feel. It's almost buttery in feel compared to the shell. The shell has like a really nice smooth feel, but the Chromexcel is just really, really rich. All right, let's move on to some other wallets that we're shipping out today. In fact, I do have another Chromexcel wallet here. This is the Color 8 Chromexcel leather. It's the same color of the Color 8 shell Cordovan, but just translated onto the Chromexcel. We still get that really nice polished grain character of the Chromexcel with just a different pull-up color and a different surface color. It's a little bit more of like a dark brown burgundy shade. Let me give you a look at the inside here of this Bugs. And here's another very interesting Bugs Moran. This one has some incredible shell on the outside. This is Color 8 marbled shell Cordovan. And just take a look at the range of color in this marbled shell. It sort of goes from an orangey tan to a red and to like a dark brown burgundy in some areas. I find the contrast of color and texture in this to be overwhelmingly cool. This shell on the outside in particular is one of the more interesting shells that I've seen recently. And let's give you a look at the other 4 Fat Herbies that we're shipping out today. The first one here, this is Ultraviolet Shell Cordovan. This is sort of the most vibrant shade that I would say Horween makes. It's very much like a vivid purple, and the undertones are a brighter magenta shade. And you can get a hint here from looking at the dye stains on the inside there of what this color looks like in the undertones. That very vivid, bright, almost pink shade underneath. All those little bits of tone are sort of underneath the leather here. You can see it happen more at certain angles and less at other angles. And here's another rare shell Cordovan color. This is the Whiskey Shell Cordovan on the Fat Herbie. The Whiskey Shell Cordovan, when we compare it to the natural shell here on the left, you can see how much more yellow the whiskey is. It's got a little bit more of a golden tone to it. Still very nice. In fact, after a few months of wearing either the natural shell or the whiskey shell in your pocket, they will patina to look very, very similar. But take a look at the incredible shell on the outside of this one. I like that natural character On the outside right of this Fat Herbie, give you one last look at the interior with a great Horween ink stamp in the center. And speaking of Horween ink stamps, this is a wallet that we started making to sort of showcase that Horween ink stamp. So this is a color number 8 double reverse Fat Herbie. You can see the reverse side of the shell on the outside here. And what I like about that is we get to see a couple of things. We get to see the random dye marks in the shell, that sort of burgundy shade, and they're all random on each piece of shell. They're totally different, and we don't control that. We just sort of cut them into pattern pieces that we think look cool. And the other thing is the Horween ink stamp that we get to feature on the outside of the wallet. Give you a look at the inside, where we've also cut a Horween ink stamp on the left, and we have the color 8 shell in the center. And here's another Fat Herbie. This one shocked me at how much I liked it earlier today. When I picked this one up, I just noticed how dense. It's almost like a heavy wallet, and there's something really satisfying about the weight and the density to this one. The other thing that I was commenting on with my team is just how nice the look is of this cobalt blue Dublin. And by the way, this is a cobalt blue Dublin Fat Herbie, but the look is very interesting. It's almost like a combination between the shell Cordovan and something like the Chromexcel, but we get a little bit more grain character in the Dublin because this has not been polished down. So look very closely, you can see all that little bit of fine detail in the grain, but there's something special about this Fat Herbie. I can't wait for you to have it. And let's take a look at a couple of watch straps that we're sending out today. So we make regular 2-piece watch straps, like this color 8 shell Cordovan one on the left here. We make these that fit for 18, 20, 22, and 24 millimeter lug widths, and we also do 2 different lengths. So this happens to be a short length color 8 2-piece strap. These are unlined straps, meaning that there's no backer to the leather. So all you're getting here is just one super thick piece of shell Cordovan. And what's great about it is the unlined strap, the reverse side of the shell Cordovan, wears in very nicely. I think this is the most comfortable strap around. And the one on the right here, this is actually an Apple Watch band, and we make Apple Watch bands as well, but we only make it for the larger size of each Apple Watch. So the series 1, 2, and 3, there are 2 sizes. I believe one is a 38 and the other is 42. We only make the larger of the 2 sizes. So we only make the 42 millimeter for the older series, and the new ones, like I think this is a series 4 or 5. The new stuff, we also only make sizes for the larger Apple Watches. So it's the 44 millimeter in the current stuff. This is a natural shell Cordovan strap, which is very, very nice. I've worn a strap similar to this. It gets really dark on your wrist and actually more and more comfortable every time you wear it. And I have a pair of key fobs going out today. This one on the left here is black reverse shell Cordovan, and I like these because we get to show off a little bit of the Horween ink stamp on the back. The other thing that's cool about the reverse shell Cordovan is we get those random dye marks, but also it's surprising because there is actually a little bit of grain on the reverse side of the shell. Might be a little challenging to see here, but it's very cool, random, and unique. And the other one here, this is ultraviolet shell Cordovan. We looked at that color earlier on a Fat Herbie, that vibrant, vivid, sort of dark purple color with magenta undertones. And speaking of ultraviolet, there's another ultraviolet piece going out today. This is a Lexington key case in the ultraviolet, that again, that vibrant, vivid purple tone. Super cool, and it looks really sleek on the new version of the key cases here. We've omitted the stitching. I think it just looks a little bit more sleek, and when you wear this in, it molds a little bit better to your keys without the stitching on there. Let me give you a look at this other key case here. This is the vault key holder. You'll notice this one has 2 screw posts, one on the left here and the other on the right there, so we can hold 3 keys on each screw post. This Garnet shell Cordovan, I think it's the first appearance of the Garnet in the video today, which is the reddest color that Horween makes. Some angles it looks a little bit more brown, and other angles it's a little bit more of a vibrant red. And we have several Chicago combs going out today. Let me give you a look here at the carbon fiber comb. I actually have all of their styles at home, but I tend to gravitate towards this Model 1 style, which is why I decided to start selling it. This is made of carbon fiber, so what's really cool about it is it's naturally anti-static, so your hair doesn't stick to it, but it's also really unique. I like just the look of it. It's nice to hold. The teeth are a little bit farther apart, which I prefer, and these pair with an English tan Dublin sheath, which is what I have here. You can buy these as a package on the website, as well as these metal combs. So this is a black metal comb, and I was talking about that Herbie earlier that has a heft to it. I like things that have a little bit more mass and density to them. I tend to find myself wanting to use pens that are heavier. And I think there's something about this comb also, because it's made out of metal, that density in it makes it really satisfying to use. So I have one of these as well. I've been using it for almost 8 years now. We pair these black metal combs with a black reverse shell Cordovan sheath, which is this greenish color here. All right, and we have 3 different Valet trays. In fact, I have several different Valet trays going today, but I have 3 to show you here. The one on the far left, this is black Chromexcel Valet tray, and the other 2 are the new English Tan Dublin Valet trays. I've got them holding some special treats, and last Friday we released these one-shot card cases. I wanted to give you a last look at all of them, and these are all the ones that we're shipping out today, but I wanted to give you a final look here at some of my favorite things that we've ever done. And these are the limited edition pieces in the intense blue reverse shell Cordovan. I can't get enough of this particular one on the back here, how that just looks like a wave splashing on the ocean. I think that is really neat. I'll give you a look at the other guy here. That really cool random die mark on the side. So we have these sending off today to some new homes. We also have the Western shell Cordovan in the intense blue. There's the teal Latigo with orange thread. Let's see if I can remember all these. This is the blue vintage. We have a regatta blue Latigo in the back here. And then also we have several different reverse pieces. So the ones on the left here, these are color 8 reverse. Here's the green reverse on the right. Can't wait for you guys to have those and wear them in. The reverse shell Cordovan wears in really well. This would be a great opportunity for you to experience that. And then we also have some other really cool stuff. These are the basketball ones, which are really bright and orange. Take a look at that texture. Really cool. The other orange one here, this is bold orange Essex. I think we were just calling it orange Essex on our website. That's a really nice vivid tone. Here's the other sporting goods one from this batch. This is baseball glove leather. And we put a really cool red stitch with that. And there is one natural shell Cordovan one shot going out today. And then we've got these couple other colors here. This is the tan Latigo with a purple stitch. That's really cool. And check out the grain character of this Latigo. That's pretty magical. And I was really happy with these. I forgot to really talk about this a lot. But again, this is a really special leather that I've only seen once that Skip Horween made for me. You may be familiar with horsehide strips from Horween, but this is a special thinned down version of that. Take a look at the inside here. See all that white look? That's not mold. That's just waxes that have been applied to this leather. And we did that so we could glaze it and polish it with a glass rod. It sort of makes it so nothing sticks to the leather, and sort of an unintended side effect of that is we've got a little bit more of this white look on the backside because that's how much wax has been finished onto this. I really like the horsehide strips. I think they're actually sold out. But again, my idea with all these one-shots was to give you an opportunity to try some different leathers from Horween, different colors, and experience them for yourself. I think that's what it's all about, getting more leather into your hands, because there's an infinite amount of possibilities. And that's what keeps me coming to work every day, keeps me getting out of bed in the morning just to experience all these cool textures and colors. So thanks for checking it out so much. I appreciate you guys supporting us on the one-shots and all of our other wallets. And of course, if you have any questions about natural shell Cordovan versus natural Chromexcel, I'd be glad to help you. Part of my mission here is to clear the air about all things leather. I want you to have all the information you need to make a good decision. So until next time, I hope you have a good one and take care.